Hey Switchheads, how's it going? Kanan here, hope you're all well and welcome to my review of beautiful Desolation. And before we get started, why not hit that like and subscribe button to keep yourself all up to date on my latest reviews and the like, and if you wish, come join us in our community Discord, link below, come for the chat, stay for the streaming. And now let's find out whether beautiful Desolation makes it onto the Wall of Fame or the Wall of Shame, or maybe somewhere in the middle. Gameplay. First up is the story, and basically it's not a bad story. It's not the best, but it's not a bad story, and it did actually keep me going through the actual game. But the basics are you and your, well, when you eventually find him, kind of robot dog, Pooch, then have to find your brother, then find your way back home. And I mean that in more than one way, but you'll find that out when you actually play the game. And so beautiful Desolation is kind of like a point and click game, but not one of those ones that you point and click, but you actually move your character to the actual areas that you want them to like interact with. And just like most of these games, you'll be given a inventory where you get to use your items and like combine them or use them on things or even just look at them. And a kind of like tablet type device where you can look at things like the map, conversations you've had, and several other things as well. The controls are actually quite easy, if not just a tiny bit fiddly to get started with, but you do get used to them in the end. The game's split up into little areas which makes up for one big area, and you'll kind of like go through loading screens in order to get to these actual areas. And this works just fine, it's just the loading sometimes takes a little bit of time to get between each transition. And then all of this is one bigger map when you unlock a certain ship, and then you can fly to these different areas and the actual game really opens up then. Adding to all of this some tiny like puzzles here and there, and that's basically your actual game.
Yo, brethren, what go on?
Luckily enough, you'll be interacting with lots of different and interesting characters along your way. Each character sounds and acts differently enough in order to make them sound like they've got their own personalities, and you'll be interacting with them in several different ways, like helping them out, finding things for them, trading with them, talking to them in general. And all of it's voiced, which is brilliant, but every time you go into the actual sections where you have to talk to them and interact with them, and your interaction is basically talk to them and then have a multiple choice of answers to talk to them back with, but this comes with a price of slightly longer loading times instead of instantly going into a chat with them. But as a whole, I found the actual characters very engaging and it worked quite well what they've done here. I would definitely say that this is a difficult game, or at least it was for me. It's certainly a challenge, and there was a bit of to and froing from different areas, going back to them and then going back again in one of those like backtracking type ways. Runtime of the game, I guess, depends on who you are and how good you are at these sort of things. I'm guessing people could probably complete it a little bit easier than I have, and maybe we're looking at like 8 to 9 hours of gameplay. Graphically though, it looks absolutely stunning, or at least it did to me. The set areas were, well, nothing but beautiful, and you see these creatures running around and it has life, bees and or flies or whatever they are, little rodents running around, the actual water whooshing in and out. And you also have a zoom in and out button or keys where you can zoom in and get a really nice little like feel for your close surroundings, and also zoom out so that you can get a broader aspect of everything around you. And that wildlife scuttering around and everything helps to actually create a really nice adventurous atmosphere. I think the only negative that I can say about the graphics is the fact that it does have kind of like a juddering effect as you're moving around, especially in the handheld mode, and this is very, very noticeable as you play on in the actual game. Audio wise, all your usual bells and whistles are here and they really serve their purpose well, but the real treat in this game is the voice acting. The voiceovers to me are not just done well, but they're done differently, and each character really like finds themselves and has like their own personality. And this goes for both flesh and metal characters, and it really, really does heighten the game so much. The good. Interesting story, all voiced, and looks blooming amazing. The bad. Loading can be sometimes a bit on the long side. That juddering I mentioned before is slightly off-putting, especially in handheld mode, and also getting stuck or lost for now and again because I found it difficult in some places. I'm not quite sure whether that's my failing or the game's failing. The score. Okay, so I've deliberated with this for quite a while and I'm kind of like not 100% sure where I should place this, but I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. It was very engaging, it was a fun game, it has blastability, and yeah, I really enjoyed the game. And as for my alternative, it's going to be Hero U, which is kind of around the same vein type thing. You have to move to objects to actually interact with them, and there's a story, and you're going to be interacting with other characters. I gave it a 3 out of 5, but yeah, it's worth checking out, or if it's on discount, go check it out then. And so what are your thoughts on Beautiful Desolation? Are you going to be picking it up or are you going to be leaving it? Let us know down in the comments. That's after all where they belong. And why not hit that like and subscribe button if you want to be kept up to date with all my latest reviews, updates and the like. And also you'll get my thanks as it will help the channel immensely. Also consider coming over to our community Discord where we do streaming and we chat as well, and we're a nice bunch over there, so why not come over and chat with us, because life is better when we switch together.